Jordan Battle, Jermaine Burton, and Charlie Jones, the lone highlights from another preseason loss. Mike Petraglia inside Paycor Stadium. Here Thursday night, the Bengals finished off a winless preseason for the second straight year, losing to the Indianapolis Colts by a score of 27-14. But that doesn't mean that the preseason wasn't without purpose for these Bengals. They need to show that they have depth at key positions. After the game, Zach Taylor said, "We need all of our depth right now." The reason he said that is Myles Murphy is out week to week. Taylor called it with a knee injury, so he is out. Cam Sample, of course, lost for the season due to a torn Achilles. So the Bengals are going to need depth along the defensive line, certainly at the edge position. And here on Thursday night, the Bengals were able to show some rush up the middle with some of their backups, Carlos Davis being one of them, who had a very strong showing against Anthony Richardson and the first-team Colts offense, which marched down the field and scored a touchdown the first time they had it. But the rest of the first half, the Bengals' second-team and third-team defensive players, they showed quite well, holding the Colts just to 7 points. The game was tied 7-7 at halftime. The only offense for the Bengals came from their defense. Jordan Battle, a pick six, a 14-yard return. Easy money for Jordan Battle off Anthony Richardson. Jordan Battle not playing too high on a single high show, jumped the route and was able to easily pick off the pass and run it in for the touchdown. But the Bengals offensively in the first half, pretty much non-existent. In the second half, they did produce a 21-yard touchdown pass. Logan Woodside to Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton had another good preseason game here at Paycor Stadium. Of course, he had that 37-yard touchdown pass in the first preseason game against Tampa Bay. Well, tonight it was Burton going 4 catches on 5 targets for 56 yards and the 1 touchdown pass. Jermaine Burton is starting to show more and more that he's picking up some of the playbook. He got good run here on Thursday night with the first team that was in there, at least the second team offense that was on the field. And that's a good sign for the rookie out of Alabama. After the game, Zach Taylor was very cautious and very deliberate in the words of praise that he used to describe Jermaine Burton, saying that he is learning more and more every single practice, every single day. But clearly the Bengals want to keep the training wheels a little bit on Jermaine Burton as he begins, or continues, I should say, to learn the playbook. Also in this game, Charlie Jones played his first preseason game of the year. Obviously banged his knee with a defensive back right before the first preseason game against Tampa Bay. Good sign tonight to see Charlie Jones out on the field. He said he wanted to get on the field and get some work in before the season opener against the Patriots on September 8th, and he did so in style with a 48-yard kickoff return, the opening kickoff of the game, returned it to the Colts' 48-yard line, but the Bengals offense couldn't really do anything with it. But tonight it was Charlie Jones returning that one kick for 48 yards. He also returned 3 punts and had a nice 9-yard punt return going from sideline to sideline, evading some defensive players on punt coverage for the Colts. But Charlie Jones back on the field, that's another positive takeaway. But the Bengals here tonight, they could not get it done offensively in the first half, and that's really why they lost the game. Again, the Bengals finish 0-3, but the more important part of this game was seeing the backups, the second team, the third team players showing the ability to contribute and showing the coaching staff that if they're put into the position where they're going to need to contribute later in the season, they can do so. The next big moment for the Bengals will come on Tuesday afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern time. That is when rosters have to be cut down around the NFL to 53 players. So the Bengals will have that move to make, along with having to decide on a 16-player practice squad. Some key decisions will have to be made over the weekend as the Bengals approach that Tuesday 4 p.m. deadline. We've got you covered on clnscincy.com for complete locker room coverage. I'll have a recap and analysis on clnscincy.com. Be sure to follow me on the X at Trags, Trags. And as always, follow me for all of the locker room coverage and recap and analysis on my Jungle Roar Pod page on YouTube, youtube.com/@JungleRoarPod. The preseason finale final again, the Colts 27 and the Bengals 14. Inside Paycor Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.